So many customers want to copy this system to reap the benefits. I thought I would overview the Toyota production system to give you a quick feel for what it would take to implement it. This is a system. It is much more than production. It was the lean production invention. In Japan, Toyota's car inventory is 3 weeks, and most of those already have an owner. Think of that when you pass by large new car lots. Toyota production system was a multi-decade journey, not an invention. First, I want to talk about automobile history because that is the context that the Toyota production system was developed in. Then I'll talk some about Taiichi Ohno, who brought lots of innovations to manufacturing. Then I'm going to talk about supply chain and customer relationships because those are also part of the Toyota production system. Then a quick overview of the lean plant and then conclude. In craft manufacturing, every car was individually built. Car components would not fit together without custom mating. Ford's greatest innovation was using steel and tight tolerances to build parts that did not need modification before attaching them to a car. Ford visited a meat cutting plant and observed the meat moving from butcher to butcher. Ford morphed this concept to the assembly line. This led to the modern assembly line and mass production. On the other hand, GM took advantage of Ford only making black cars to offer colors. At this point in history, we have mass production, which lives on today. Toyota started off using craft manufacturing. Ohno and Toyoda, the president, studied mass production at Ford's Rouge plant. About this time, World War II started, and Toyota was told to make trucks. Toyota was greatly impacted by the war. Money was scarce, materials were expensive, and the Japanese market was very competitive. Ohno saw waste in the Rouge plant, which was a literal waste or components thrown aside due to defects. Toyota could not afford to throw away any material. He also felt Toyota could use assembly workers to do work that Ford had specialists performing. He found out that yield was a major mass production metric. Stopping the assembly line was considered a major failure. He saw that a defect or error would get passed forward to avoid stopping the line. Defects would get buried in the car as more parts were assembled. His solutions. He implemented an and-on system. This was a cable that workers pulled to shut down the assembly line if they detected a defect. This resulted in lots of line stoppages, but he persevered. He implemented a root cause analysis system called 5 Whys, which is used to eradicate assignable cause variation, but not random cause variation. Today, Toyota approaches 100% yield. Mass manufacturers are at about 90% yield, not because of defects, but because of missing supplies and other things. Does Toyota have a production system, or is it really a business system? Would you really have excellence in production without excellence in the rest of the business? Here are a couple side stories after talking about Taiichi Ohno. Toyota and others have formed a group of non-competing companies that self-finance. So if Toyota needs to build a new plant, this is where they go to get funding. Mazda, which was in another group, was having financial problems and needed to implement the Toyota production system. The financial group removed top management and hired a new group that knew how to implement the Toyota production system. This is the house you normally see labeled as the Toyota production system. The left side with suppliers, dealers, and customers is business, not production. Or is it? I left out the Japanese words to make it clearer. Starting with the roof, it includes the Toyota major goals. The left column is about making the whole system faster and efficient with increased quality. The right column concerns interactions humans have with the production environment. For instance, mechanical assist for heavy parts. The base includes standards for operations. The center highlights Toyota's guiding principles. By the way, Toyota has a lifetime employment policy. You can pause here if you are interested in a little more detail. Otherwise, let's move on to something that is critical to the Toyota production system that is not within the walls of Toyota. Automobile companies are not so much manufacturing companies as assembly companies. Let's set the stage with Toyota. Within their plant, they have a maximum of 2 hours inventory at each station. Each car contains about 100,000 parts, and those parts are combined into about 100 assembly components. So how are our suppliers treated? Mass production treats them as a buffer for just-in-time. Lean production treats them as a strategic partner. Do you build a design and then just give your supplier the blueprints? This is what Toyota does. Toyota makes sure suppliers have the big picture. Suppliers are encouraged to add value to Toyota designs. Toyota shares employees with suppliers. Toyota makes a financial investment in their suppliers, and Toyota promotes bringing suppliers together to learn how to work better. Toyota cannot succeed without their strong relationship with their suppliers. In mass production, customers are used to smooth the manufacturing schedule. They do this by altering the price to the customer. Lean production has the same challenge in that the customer is the first part of the pull system. How does Toyota keep it smooth? Toyota in Japan looks at customers as a long-term relationship. They have a customer database. This gives them information about the customer situation, such as the members of the family and how old they are, the cars they have, how old the cars are, what would be the best next car, who needs a car. They use this database to target the best customers for the next sale. When the customer orders a car, they deliver it. Toyota sees the customer as the first link in the Kanban system. If the customer interaction stimulates the system to start building a car, then you can see that Toyota works with small builds and that they are more responsive to customers. Now let's take a look at a lean plant. At the lean plant, everyone is engaged. There is a fair amount of automation, and manufacturability is key. Authority and responsibility are pushed down the chain of command. There exists a tried and true process to determine root cause analysis. An end-on board keeps employees in the loop. Respect is a two-way street, and workers are confident in management that they understand lean production. Is the Toyota production system really a production system or a business system? Here's a list of innovations we discussed. Simple mating of automobile parts. Assembly line. Multiple automobile colors. And-on cord except no defects. 5 whys. Concept of waste. Pull instead of push processes. Just in time. Continuous improvement. Toyota had a worker strike in 1949. The result was that top management was fired along with a large number of workers. Every remaining worker received lifetime employment. You can see that the Toyota production system can't simply be plopped down on a business and that the effort would be successful. Can it be improved? The Toyota production system is not static. It receives 1.5 million continuous improvement ideas a year and implements 95% of them. Start with the first step and let time move you forward. Look down on your plant. What percentage of the people do you see that are adding value to your customers? Where is the next Taiichi Ohno? This is Jim Fitzgerald, a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Thank you.